Is there a connection between the vast underground city recently found under the Khafre Pyramid and Nagas, the reptile-like beings? Okay, I know what you're thinking. Nagas are mentioned in ancient Indian texts. Why would you relate them to the Egyptians, right? If you give me the next 10 minutes, I will explain exactly why. If you enter the tomb of Seti I in Egypt, you will see this on the right wall. A 5-headed snake guarding a figure, and this figure is resting on the snake's body. And this is from ancient India. The exact same detail. A 5-headed snake guarding a figure, and this figure is resting on the snake's body. How can this be a mere coincidence? People have damaged this wall. So let me recreate this using technology. You can even see water droplets and a crocodile in this 3,300-year-old painting. And you can see the exact same detail in ancient Hindu carvings. You can see water and crocodile-like animals because the deity is sleeping in the sea of milk. So ask yourself if this could be a mere coincidence. And in the Book of Gates, which is an ancient Egyptian text, you can see this detail. A figure lying down, but what is he lying down on? Yes, it is a snake. Interestingly, you can also see the legs on the snake, and I will explain this in a minute. You can clearly see the body of the snake. A snake will have spots on the top, and at the bottom, it will have stripes. This is clearly shown, and this detail is also shown in many Indian temples, where the deity will be reclining on a snake, and the snake's top part will have spots, and the bottom will have stripes. So this cannot be a coincidence. But do their names match, right? We have to look at the linguistics, because if we compare any two gods from any two countries, there should be some resemblance between the words, right? For example, he is called Jesus in the US, Jesus in Spain, and Eshu in Israel. But we know it's the same figure we're talking about because the names sound similar. So, what's the name of Naga in Egypt? Nehebkau. Yes, it is pronounced almost the same. Naga and Nehebkau. So, there should be no doubt that it's the same deity. So, we not only have a match in iconography, we also have a linguistic match. They are pronounced very similar. And you can see the Naga or Nehebkau with the same features, a snake-like deity with legs. And the Nehebkau cult in Egypt is said to have originated around an ancient city called Naqada. Archaeologists have unearthed many artifacts related to the serpent-like creatures here, other than anywhere else. Even by conservative archaeological estimates, the Naqada city is very ancient, dating between 4,000 to 3,000 BC. So, it is a 6,000-year-old Naga city? Is that even possible? Yes, Oxford University actually dated some artifacts using radiocarbon dating techniques and confirmed that the culture was formed around 3,800 BC. So it is, in fact, about 6,000 years old. But there is another city called Nagada, where people tell the exact same stories and have the same culture. But this ancient Nagada city is in India, in the state of Rajasthan. Is this also a coincidence? If you talk to the elderly people in this town, they will tell you that this ancient city was founded by Nagaditya, a reptile king, thousands of years ago. This ancient city is now pronounced Nagada and has now dwindled to a small village of less than 300 people. But these locals believe there is a vast underground area ruled by Nagas, not just under their city, but around the world. They believe that there is an underground kingdom that is ruled by Nagas, and this kingdom is known as Nagaloka, made with elaborate tunnels and chambers stretching for many, many miles. And this is exactly what the radar scans are showing under the pyramid of Khafre. The SAR scans do not show small chambers or tunnels, but very deep tunnels going more than 2,000 feet deep and underground areas stretching more than a mile. This is not an underground building for temporary use, but a vast underground territory in which they could live for a long time. So think about it. Is the recently discovered underground city the ancient city of Nagas? Was it used by Nehebkau? If so, do ancient Egyptian texts support that? Absolutely. Ancient Egyptian scrolls clearly tell us that the Nehebkau is the guardian of the underworld and it rules the underworld. And this is exactly the same detail we read in ancient Indian texts. Indians believe that just like the world above ground, a parallel underground world exists, and this is called Nagaloka. In fact, I even showed you a portal to Nagaloka in Indonesia a few months ago. In fact, all of Southeast Asia believes this as well, that Nagas are the guardians of the underworld portals. But I found something that's truly shocking. This explains why Egyptian authorities will never accept that underground areas really exist and will never give us access to these places. Look at this evidence. In 1903, archaeologists discovered the tomb of Prince Amenhotep in Egypt. However, the archaeologists were too late because looters had already been there. They found an opened stone box and a chamber behind it, and that chamber had already been forced open by looters. And a great amount of gold and precious stones had been looted. Archaeologists confirmed that yes, it could have contained millions of dollars worth of gold and precious stones. But the smoking gun is this detail. 2 serpents are carved on the doorway, clearly depicted as guardians of the forbidden treasure. But believe it or not, this exact same detail is carved in another ancient site. But in India, in 2011, authorities found a vault in Padmanabhaswamy temple, and these doors have the exact same details. They are protected by 2 Nagas, a clear sign that it holds the treasure of the reptiles. In fact, they know it is a forbidden door, so they've not opened this particular vault, known as Vault B, but they've opened all the other underground chambers in this temple, and the treasure so far is worth about $22 billion. Yes, 22 billions with a B. And some experts claim that the Vault B, protected by Nagas, could hold treasure that's more than $1 trillion. Now we understand why Egyptian authorities may never give access to the underground areas. It could be filled with an insane amount of wealth and perhaps even have some very advanced scientific information? Are these underground areas somehow connected to Atlantis? But there's an even bigger question here. Are reptile-like beings still living underground in Egypt? I've made a detailed analysis about this, but I cannot post it in public. So I've posted this video in our deep dive community about these Naga or Nehebkau and their underground connection in Egypt. I found a lot more correlations between Nehebkau and Naga, which confirms that they are the same and how they're in charge of the underworld. If you're interested in watching this, please click on the join button and watch it, because this information really hits home. So, what do you think? Are Nagas and Nehebkau the same? Is the five-headed snake guarding this figure a mere coincidence? But why are Naga and Nehebkau even pronounced the same? What about the ancient cities of Naqada in Egypt and Nagada in India? Is that a coincidence too? What about the portals guarded by two Nagas and the treasure found inside of them? Finally, was the vast underground city in Egypt built by Nagas? Does it have an insane amount of wealth worth trillions of dollars? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I am PraveenMohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.